One, two, one, two, one, two. Once again, this is Malls back a little late, but back with another episode of The Breakdown. This is the series where I deconstruct the lyrics of the songs from my new album, A Subtle Reminder, which is produced entirely by Sharp Cuts. You could get A Subtle Reminder anywhere you get your music, your Apple Music, your Tidal, your Spotify, and all that. If you're a real one, like I always say, you'll get it from malls.bandcamp.com. I do have a couple of physical copies available. So, holla at it if you love it. Love good music, get this dope artwork, make it a part of your life. Produced entirely by Sharp Cuts. And today, I'm going to be breaking down the lyrics, my verse, from what is probably, I would say, a crowd favorite, Scott Summers. As many of you may know, myself, Sharp Cuts, and Precise Politics formed a group called Bash Brothers. We released an album in 2021, I believe, called Bloodsport Champions, which was kind of a spin-off from Precise's and Sharp's album Leave You Where I Find You, where I was on the track called Bloodsport Champion. Bash Brothers is just the three of us going in and just barring out. A lot of it is very heavily influenced by professional wrestling. Because, as 80s babies, we grew up in that, rock and wrestling era of WWF, now WWE. And, especially Precise and I and Sharp, very influenced by comic books and stuff. So I had to have a Bash Brothers song on this album. It had to happen. I wrote this song on February 14th, 2022. It was recorded a little while after that. I remember because it was recorded the same day we recorded another Bash Brothers song. And as I was kind of going through the songs that we had recorded so far, I was trying to choose between, okay, should it be this song, which ultimately became Scott Summers, or this other song that we're saving for the Bash Brothers album? And I really like that other song. I loved my verse on it. I love just how just dope it was. I don't want to give away too much. But I felt like this song fit more with the rest of the album. It didn't stand out in a weird way like that other track would have. So I chose this one. The whole concept of the song is, a lot of it is Sharp's idea. He came up with the chorus, which, I'll talk about that a little bit later. But whenever we're writing together, I believe we wrote this all together. And whenever we're writing together, we just, put on the beats and we just go. And after a little while, after everybody has a couple of bars written, we'll just start. It's like, okay, what do you got? All right, what do you got? What do you got? And then once we're all done writing, it's like, okay, who wants to set it off? And so we just kind of decide who's going to go first. In this case, Sharp's verse seemed to just set it off perfectly. Just the way the horns come in and just his verse, just, I believe it set it off really nicely. So obviously Sharp and Precise aren't here to talk about their verses, so I'm going to talk about my verse. I wanted to go second just because the way Precise's verse was, it had to go last. There was no other place for that verse to go but to go last. So I start my verse off with, main event Malls pay homage to the Trinity. I spaz with the bash like what the fuck's gotten into me. Thunder God from Asgard but look like John Henry. Lay the hammer with the grammar. Blow minds like Kennedy. So again, us being in, the Bash Brothers theme kind of being wrestling, pro wrestling influence. Main event Malls, the main event of the evening. Pay homage to the Trinity, the three of us, Malls, Precise, and Sharp Cuts. Spaz with the bash, like what the fuck has gotten into me. I try to go into a different frame of mind whenever I do Bash Brothers songs. Um, it's not so much about like the jewels, you know, mixed in with the bars. I'm just totally focused on barring out whenever I do a Bash Brother. Even when we do songs that are like about some shit, I still want to just be heavy on the bars. So I spaz with the bash, like what the fuck's gotten into me. Thunder God from Asgard, but look like John Henry. That's a reference to Thor. The Thunder God from Asgard, but look like John Henry. John Henry, the, you know, tale of the black man who beat the, you know, locomotive or whatever. Laid a hammer with the grammar. So Thor had his hammer Mjolnir. John Henry used the hammer on the railroad. Blow minds like Kennedy. A little bit close to the. I feel like a lot of people use that line, but in my head, I was thinking about the Locks, blow minds like Kennedy, because, you know, what happened with Kennedy's assassination. Then the next four lines are, let alone imagine it, grappling with the savages, mastering my madness and hatching a plan to traffic it straight to your speakers quick as Amazon packages. Again, I'm just strictly barring out here. And, you know, I like to come with different rhyme patterns and stuff, so I kind of hit with the little different rhyme pattern than the original four that I started with. Not a whole bunch of decoding needed for that section. I kind of always talk about, you know, being one with my madness, because I feel like, you know, in order to be like an entertainer or an artist of any kind, you got to be a little bit weird. So we all have a bit of madness in us. The next four lines are, from the city of Raleigh, the state of confusion, where rivalries about which color blue you're choosing. I DDT a devil on the map for my amusement and have your ghostwriters taking notes for improvement. Repping my adopted city, Raleigh, North Carolina, from the state of confusion. Just thought that was a little clever wordplay instead of saying the state of North Carolina. Where rivalries about which color blue you're choosing. Carolina blue for the Tar Heels, Duke blue for Duke. Like, that's the rivalry. Throughout the whole state, you know, you got people from completely different walks of life that can bond over whether they like Duke or Carolina. And then it's like, fuck that other shade of blue, like whoever. Carolina fan here. But, you know, so that's why I say I DDT a devil on the map for my amusement. Again, going back, tying in with the wrestling, DDT a devil on the map for my music. Have your ghostwriters taking notes for improvement. I end the verse with, master teacher on a different world, ask Jaleesa. Masterpiece theater raps a reacher. Meet the object of your nightmares, causes sleep paralysis. You win the crosshairs, you won't be the same after it. Again, I feel like I'm very good with the bars, so I'm a master teacher. And then shout out to a great TV show from the 80s and 90s, A Different World. I'm on A Different World. Ask Jaleesa. Jaleesa was a character on A Different World, for those of you who never got to watch it. You know, Masterpiece Theater raps a reacher. Meet the object of your nightmares, causing sleep paralysis. For any of you who have gone through sleep paralysis, that shit's fucking terrifying and awful. And then I ended off, again, just straight bar work, straight aggressive raps. You win the crosshairs and you won't be the same after it. So after I get you out the crosshairs, after I get you out my sights, you won't be the same. And then the chorus was actually Sharp's idea. He came up with the format for the chorus. And he just said, you know, just put your name in it. And you could say something like, you know, because Sharp said, you know, Sharp cuts, I got the beats. So I say Malzini, the elite, Scott Summers. And you can all envision the heat because Scott Summers has the concussive blast that comes from his eyes. It's not necessarily heat vision, but it's red, so it looks like heat vision. You know, in the speakers in your ears or just bumping in the street, Bash Brothers. Now put that motherfucker on repeat. So that was my verse. And then again, Precise comes in, just completely obliterates the song. And it tied in together the way we all did the chorus and put our names in it. And then, you know, if you've heard the song already, you know, Precise kind of switches up the chorus a little bit. And it just came together really quickly. Like this song and the other song that I was choosing from both came together really quickly. And it was one of those ones where like, yeah, this is going to be the song that people gravitate towards. And people really have. Like, you know, the album has been out since May, and I'm still seeing DJs putting it in their mix, people adding it to their playlist, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. If it's not a Sharp Cuts production, if there's not some kind of blooper reel. And in the beginning, you know, Sharp says the no chips, no chips to kind of play on the only built for Cuban links at the beginning of Verbal Intercourse, what Raekwon says. And then you also hear it at the end of the song when Sharp was doing his first take. He had just finished eating potato chips. And, you know, when you're rapping, you're inhaling sharply and quickly. And I guess he still has some potato chips that he didn't quite digest and almost choked him. So you hear it and you hear us, Precise and I, just laughing hysterically at him. So that's why in the beginning, when he did his verse, he said, no chips. You know, he got all the chips out of his system. Good to go. And then the blooper at the end. And it's still one of my favorite songs on the album, and it's also one of my favorite Bash Brothers songs, along with that other song we recorded that same day. Again, I had to choose what my heart wanted and what was good for the project, and I went with what was good for the project. I don't think I could have lost either way, because even though that other song would have stood out in a weird way, it was still a really dope song. So once again, man, thank you all for watching the video to the end. Make sure you hit the like button, give a comment, tell me what your favorite line from the song was, tell me what you think about the album. Subtle reminder, once again, is available streaming everywhere. I will have links where you can purchase it or listen to it and stream it down in the description below this video. I still have physical copies available, so you can grab that. Just hit up malls.bandcamp.com. Shout out to Sharp Cuts. Shout out to Precise Politics. Love when we do these Bash Brothers joints, man. And shout out to you for watching, you for supporting, you for listening. Catch you next time. Peace.